Good morning.
Good morning,
So
everyone.
our special guest today is Dr. Kiltz from uh, Lisbon,
Lisbon.
Portugal.
Lisbon, Portugal, a
Lisbon.
beautiful day in Lisbon. I should
What
probably just turn this way a little bit.
What
You
did you
know,
There
do
we
we
go.
have
yesterday?
someone taking the course from Lisbon.
Oh,
Well, all around the
yeah,
globe, and that's the beauty of what we're all doing. It's global, language is
yeah.
global, and it can be automatic YouTube translation for everyone. That's really the beauty. We're globe trotters. And think about all of our civilizations, our cultures. It's global, and that's why I talked to Dr. Wiedemann last night for a moment about carnivore influencers gravitating to plants.
Mhm.
What did she have to say?
Well, I guess part of the question is there? Do you think that maybe we're doing it, and I say we very generalized, in order to get more followers, or are we really doing it in order to be more inclusive and shining a light on all sides, that there's not one side or the other, it's all. I kind of been looking at nutrition, politics, religion, and science. It's all we create a polarization. And what we want to do is shine a light on ways that we know that keto helps a lot of people, and carnivore also is powerful. So that's my and that's what I kind of said. It's not whatever people think about it doesn't matter. We're here to be who we are now. Um, I would say I'm still a oh yeah, bom dia from Sao Paulo, Brazil. I'm gonna go maybe to Madrid on Friday, Saturday, and then to or Saturday, Sunday, and then over to Barcelona on Monday,
Fun.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and then back to New York on Thursday, and then Thursday night I'm going to Mont Tremblant for Scott Everson's meat stock meetup in Canada for about 4 days. I think it's a special event. I don't know if there's still tickets available. What people can do to get there, right?
I don't think there are. I think they've been sold out for months for that specific thing. But there's a Scott Everson
Uh,
Healing Humanity meetup at Hack Your Health on Saturday night.
yeah, and we're doing a Kill Somebody Tribe meetup
We're
on
doing it on Friday night. That's why we're doing it on
Friday night.
Friday night, and everyone's
Friday
invited.
night, everyone's invited, and let's make sure there's a link for everyone.
Yeah,
But again, we need to make the reservations. I think everyone plop down $60 or $70, whatever it is, make the
yeah,
reservation for the meeting.
yeah.
It's got to be solid, easy, paid for, done. One stop. Rick Perez, what did Rick say?
He said, softening the message, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
I mean, ultimately, okay, a lion licks a little bit of honey or something from time to time, maybe, but yeah, we want to soften the message to invite everyone to the story, because in truth, I know that we can eat some plants and we'll be fine. Now, some people can't eat some plants over others, but I would say that fatty meat, salt, and water is the foundation, truly the master meal. And that's one of the things that we want to expand on. And we're also going to be expanding our coaching and our one-on-one coaching, our group coaching,
Yes.
and we're going to work on integrating Western medical coaching and care in Kilt's Mighty Tribe and Dr. Kiltz and Kilt's Health. So we're not here to say one way or the other. We're here to work, including with Western medicine. We want to work together. This is not in order to slash and burn. It's to fertilize and water and grow all together. So I think that's one of the things that I work on. Who is our guest today? What happened to our guest?
He's traveling to Europe for work.
Oh, okay, cool. Then let's put a link, and maybe we can invite in put the link out there for anyone that's interested, maybe to come on into our live and be part of our live around the globe. And
Sure.
Dr. Nelson and Aaliyah have spearheaded helping put together all of this work for Kilt's Health. And so without them, but mostly without everyone here helping carry the baton to share the ideas, inclusiveness, not one side or the other. Let's bring them together. Carnivore lifestyle has to do with mindset and motion and that ultimately, you know, a animal-based diet seems to be the healthiest thing for human beings, and only plant side. Dr. Nelson, any comments on being only an herbivore as a human being?
Being only herbivore, I think you need to add the meat.
We have to add
Long
something. I
term,
mean,
long
eggs.
term, long term. You have to. I mean, if you want to be vegetarian or vegan, there are plenty of people who are healthy, but you have to supplement heavily. And I think animal protein is meat, fatty meat is
Well,
best.
and I hit that, Ali. At J Bud, we
Oh,
need to be accepting of people who invest in plants, but not condone it. Well, again, Dr. Nelson, what diet has science and have we proven is the diet that if you eat this, you'll live longer and be healthier than anything?
Everybody has their own argument, but I don't think there is any diet out there. And if you ask AI, ChatGPT or whoever you use, it's gonna come out with something like a Mediterranean diet.
Well, why
What
does
is
it
a
come up with
Mediterranean diet,
Mediterranean?
Dr. Kills?
Well, basically includes animals and plants and a mixture of those. But ultimately, ChatGPT is just trying to appease everyone. It's not stupid because it's us. And so ultimately, wherever you go in this world, you want to bring people together. Now, if a meat-centric diet seems to be the best approach for ancient humanity, but a plant-centric diet seems to be the cause of a lot of diseases. But I'm wondering if it's just because we're not eating it at all, or we're eliminating the fat. And and I guess I would ask human beings, eat only raw animals, all raw plants. Which one are likely going to be the healthiest?
Oh, raw animals, probably.
Yeah, but raw plants, heroin, cocaine, marijuana, nicotine, caffeine. I mean, all these things ultimately are just I'm gonna touch base with everyone. I'm not on Instagram or Kate's Kill Somebody Tribe today, by the way. I should have worked to try to get it on. Maybe I can. There might be some.
So Alia put the link in the description, and I would like to ask anyone of our recent graduates that has taken the plunge to go ahead and start a coaching business. If there's anyone here like that, and I do see many people who had plans, I would like to hear from them what they're doing, how they're launching the business, and so on.
yeah, that'd be great.
And we are launching Kilt's Mighty Tribe coaching business, by the way,
Yeah.
through Kilt's Mighty Tribe, through Kilt's Health, through Dr. Kilt's, and we are going to be adding to that a even the point of Western medicine where we can offer medications and testing and diagnostic and therapeutic ideas. That's coming also. Let's see. I think we are. Yeah, I got live on KMT, and although there's a little bit of reflection, and my screen's a little bit dirty, but it is what it is. But
It's
vegans, we love. Look at
what time is it over there? 11.
it's 11:09. Yeah. So it works out perfect for me because my day doesn't really get going until like noon or 1 o'clock because I'm still on East Coast USA time, and it's fine. We just go a little bit later. We're good. And because I'm in bed by 8 o'clock U.S. time anyway, and so I'm done with dinner by 6, 7 o'clock anyway. So it's all perfect, all good. It's all good. Yeah, we got Sarah Franklin from North Carolina on KMT. But the whole intention of Kilt's Mighty Tribe, drkilts.com, and our lives, and even as we're working out our different levels, but we know everyone is welcome to join for free. Currently, we have a $10 and a $30 ideas, but we're working to grow those things in ways. And Dr. Nelson, as an MD, years of family practice, helping spearhead both our coaching and our Kilts Health business. Again, we're all here to encourage everyone, go out there and help your brothers and sisters. And whether or not you're creating a business to continue, building profits is critical for profiting humanity, people. So you have to be profitable in order to continue to do the work that we're all in the midst of doing. What's the cue from Terry Sue?
Q from Terry Sue. Has it been determined what causes atherosclerosis in people who don't indulge in alcohol and tobacco? I'm going to take a stab. Seed oils.
Inflammation. Because if you're strictly a carnivore from the day you're born to the day you die, you're going to have the same diseases of all humans. You might have it less frequently at a later age, but again, you do nothing but sit in your bed from the day you're born to the day you die, and only eat meat. You're going to have the same problems, because I think it's just inflammation, plant sugars, antigens, chemicals, fermentation in the gut, and excessive exercise. So, but yeah, you're right. Seed oils are basically plant chemicals. And although, have we proven that olive oil, Dr. Nelson, causes atherosclerosis?
I don't think so.
Is that a seed oil?
Seed? I don't think it's.
It is. It is a seed oil.
It's made from the seed.
Well, it's made from the whole fruit. Now you can get extracted olive oil without the seed, but most of it is they collect the whole fruit and they crush it. That contains everything. So we sometimes science I think tries to make things too complicated. I mean, I would go right back to, I think, again, liver damage is number one after the gut, and insulin resistance is liver damage. Insulin resistance is hepatogenous diabetes, and that's our biggest problem. Animals based is best. I agree. Deep sea otter, I agree. But I guess the question, Dr. Nelson, I mean, vegetarians eat, and I know many vegetarians that eat some fish, so I don't know if they're really a vegetarian or an omnivore. Anyway,
well, vegetarians consider themselves vegetarians even if they have eggs, dairy, or fish, or cheese. Basically they're excluding the red meat, so they're vegetarians.
Right.
But there is a wide spectrum of ways of eating among them.
Ultra processed, like something like canola, Angela Mullins, olive oil is not ultra processed. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that, but again, it's still a processed product, which also crushes the seed of the
but the
fruit.
problem with the seed oils has nothing to do with the seed itself. It's actually the industrial process of extracting the oil from the seeds.
I think it may have to do with both. But remember, people are allergic to seeds and nuts. If you get a fresh seeds and nuts, people can have an anaphylactic reaction. And so I'm just giving all of it. most of us probably tolerate. I think I love olive oil, avocado oil. I just don't use them very frequently anymore. But I think that you're right. The seed oils, ultra processed. We got George in the house. Should we throw? Let's George.
Hi, good morning, Dr. Kills. How are you?
I am excellent. I'm visiting here in Lisbon, Portugal, and then on to Madrid and Barcelona. It's great on this side of the pond. And
you are on my side of the pond now. It's nice to see you over here.
Yes. The Portuguese are pretty amazing people. I think this was a Roman outpost at one point. And ultimately the Portuguese,
the whole Iberian Peninsula was.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, right on. Yeah. I'm talking specifically again. Yes, Portugal, and Spain, and I mean, England and Europe, and in so many ways. But we go back further than that. The Gauls, the Celts, and I don't know who else is out there. But it is quite an amazing world we're in, with which now our ability to connect through social media and have all of these conversations. George, is there a place for omnivorous humans in the carnivorous side?
Yeah, this is interesting because obviously what we're trying to do, and we've actually been discussing this on our coaching group, is of course if we just say we're only going to coach carnivores, we're not going to coach anybody who wants to be part of the keto world, we're not going to get very many. The idea is behind it is, but you have to remember, Dr. Kilsey, you've actually trained us as not only carnivore coaches, but as ketogenic coaches. I'm a great believer. Yeah, I think the term carnivore is good. It's good for us to use it. But I think if we actually focus on it too much, then we're going to be putting people off because it does carry this caveman macho image approach. And about lesson 3, I think, of the course, certainly this course, we're going to learn the term therapeutic carbohydrate restriction. And I actually prefer that as a way of talking about it because it actually gives a bit of a medical gravitas to what we're actually doing. Because at the end of the day, I came here, like many people did, I came here as a morbidly obese type 2 diabetic who was very shortly going to die of a heart attack. I came here at 293 pounds with a HbA1c of 6.7. And my nurse, not my doctor, because my doctor just wanted to fill me with drugs, my nurse said all carbs are sugar. So it was her who basically put me down the route of therapeutic carbohydrate restriction. She didn't ever mention carnivore. She never mentioned the ketogenic diet. All she did was tell me that carbs are sugar. So I went away and eventually found myself my way to carnivore, but I came through the ketogenic route as well. So what we are trying to do is, as coaches, is basically we are likely to actually be taking on people who do have conditions they want to heal. Therefore, the word therapeutic means treatment, basically, a therapy. Carbohydrate, we know what carbohydrates are, and restriction means cutting down on carbohydrates. I think Ken Berry calls it dialing back.
And you have to always remember,
yeah.
You meet the patient or the client where they are, not where you are, but where they are.
Exactly.
Trying to help them.
Yeah. So we can't go around saying, oh, you've got to eliminate all carbohydrates. I mean, I actually had to, before I became a Kilts health coach, I had a great success on site with a chap who was 40 years of age on site. I was on building site. He was 40 years of age. He was scared, literally scared. He had a young wife and a 3-year-old daughter. He was incredibly high HbA1c. I think in UK terms, I can't do the maths off the top of my head. I think he was about 89. And the barrier for diabetes in the UK is 49 mmol. So he was 40 mmol into diabetes. That is dangerous, really dangerous diabetes. So he was actually having to have a blood test every 3 months. Usually, even if you're a diabetic, it's only every year. And he reached out to me because he knew my story. He told me that he was not prepared to go full carnivore because he likes his tomatoes too much and his onions and his mushrooms, but he loves steak. But he likes to have his French fries and all the sides that go with it. So what I did was I was able to convince him to up the amount of steak he ate and reduce the amount of sides that he ate. Also to think very carefully about what else he ate outside it. So there was no more snacking on Hershey bars or Snickers bars at break time. He would eat, more meat or a bit of ham or something. But I used to actually buy him beef tomatoes because he loved them so much, and I could get them from the local market. So I used to take them in to him every Monday. But after the next 3 months, he came back and said, "That's amazing." He said, "I'm down to," he said, I am down to 49 mmol now. So he'd actually dropped in 3 months after reaching out to me, but still staying eating vegetables. He'd actually dropped himself to the point where he was only just diabetic. Not surprisingly, 3 months afterwards, he came back to me, George, and said, "I'm no longer diabetic." So I didn't say you've got to go carnivore in order to get rid of your diabetes. What I said is you've got to restrict the carbs, and that's what he did. And he's no longer diabetic. So he was scared, literally scared. He reached out to me, not because he was vain, not because he wanted to lose weight, but because he was scared because he had a young wife and a young daughter, and he thought he was going to die. So no, we have to. We've got to remember what we're doing. We're not like vegans. We're not saying you've got to do this because it's ideological. We're doing it for our health. That guy's health was turned around using the ketogenic approach. So no, if people want to carry on eating vegetables, it's up to them. But if they're sensible, like Lee was, my friend, they will listen to, they will take a mindful approach towards it, and they will heal themselves. Anyway, back to you guys.
I mean, that is so powerful and important. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
no problem, Dr. Kiltz.
Yeah. Well, the Kiltz Mighty Tribe is having some trouble because I'm not on audio. I'm on headset because Tia's in the other room doing her live with something else, and I'm doing mine. And so if we're both on loud, it will not work. I'll be off the stage here. But I think it is really powerful. So many people are healing on the ketogenic lifestyle, which includes plant eaters, animal eaters, and both. And so I know for myself, like the purely animal is great, but okay, I had a croissant today, amazing, with some really amazing butter, and then I had some yogurt because I'm trying all this different stuff. Oh my God, I put a couple of blueberries in it. It was amazing. But mostly I had salmon, I had eggs, I had bacon, I had Iberico ham. I had salami from Hungary, I think. I don't know where it was from. It was amazing. And cheeses. I'm here on vacation also to taste the beautiful foods of the world. And last night I had this amazing scallop at the Lisbon Four Seasons. They had scallops and they had mussel, and then I can't remember what these little green. It's either pig's feet or pigs. Oh no, I can't remember what it's called. Little green plant, just a little bit of a garnishing in it. And I remember I found they were when I was down in Australia. I mean, okay, I had to eat a bite of that with my scallops and the cream sauce. And I didn't ask the chef, oh my God, did you use like oil on that? I just let them make this beautiful meal, and it was like amazing. Oh, and the oysters here were like top notch.
I mean, what we've got to do, Dr. Kills, is go back to what you always say, which is frequency and significance. You're on holiday. how frequently are you on holiday? Which how frequently do you eat like you're on holiday? And
No.
what is it? And what is the significance of the amount that you're eating? You're not eating it every day, are you? Then we got to look at the significance of it. I mean, I'm going to confess it now, and so maybe I'm going to get the a ban from the carnival police myself, because when I was growing up, I was always a great hunter. I used to go out and shoot my own rabbits, shoot my own pigeons, but I also I was a great gatherer as well. I used to love gathering the blackberries and the fruits, the in-season fruits, and I used to especially like gathering the mushrooms, the fungi, because they are great fun to actually go looking for. So it's kind of a hunting sort of thing, because you've got to go across the fields and find them. Now, that's one of the things I miss. So do you know what? I've decided this year that I'm going to have a nod towards paleo. And last weekend, myself, my wife, Lainey, we went up on the hills and we gathered some mushrooms. And Lainey put them in a heavy whipping cream and butter sauce. And we had them with our veal. Actually, we had some veal escalope, roast veal escalope with a cream and mushroom sauce. And do you know, it was absolutely delicious, Dr. Nelson, Dr. Kilsalia. Do I feel guilty? Maybe slightly, because it means I'm no longer 100% carnivore. Well, I never have been really, because I still drink coffee and that sort of thing. I don't think any of us are, well, maybe one or two.
We're going to call the carnival police on you.
I know, exactly.
Dr. Kills, I'll be standing in the airport when you come in.
Yeah, if you see me suddenly disappear stage left, it means that the carnival police have come in through the back door. So yeah, exactly right. But no, that's this is a little concession I'm making to myself. But am I going to go down the supermarket every week and buy a pound of mushrooms? No, I'm not. I'm only going to actually add mushrooms back in if I've actually foraged them with my own rough hands, and I can actually guarantee their provenance. And then I'm not going to cook them deep fry them in batter or seed oils. I'm only going to let Lainey cook them in butter and heavy whipping cream. So, is there? Please tell me, tribe,
okay.
Is that wrong? Am I wrong?
I say minimize to maximize, meaning from time to time, not all the time.
And not moderation.
But if you're strictly in the keto world, where you do animal products and fat from animals, and you do some plants, even on a daily basis, all right? The trick is, see, amino acids from protein and simple sugars from carbs, plants, both metabolize the same way. So that's why the real trick here is more animal fat, cream, eggs, butter, cheese, but truly animal lard, tallow, ghee, which is what suppresses the inflammation, and eat less frequently. This is why one meal a day is still one of the best things you could do. Why would you eat 2 meals and go exercise to lose weight? Just eat the one meal. So I would say that I'm really beginning to believe that human beings, we are omnivorous. Did we evolve strictly as only animal eaters? I don't know that answer. My bet is that we likely hunted and we gathered, depending on the season, the location, and timing. But I would say in our world, where minimize the amounts and or the frequency, but maximize the fatty meat, because in my opinion, also that rare to raw and lots of fat is where it's at. But plants in general, except for ripe fruit, but and maybe even ripe fruit, we should be cooking a little bit. But I would say the plants, you cook them well, you simplify the sugars, you minimize or eliminate the toxicity of the plant, and that's, I think, the best thing we can do here, to be purely scientists. Because again, for some people like Michaela Peterson, Jordan Peterson, although I don't know that I could tell you that for sure for them, because what do they eat? What do they not eat? I think like a tuber, a squash, probably, something from I'd say a tuber more than anything. Like that's why potatoes, I think, and well cooked, no skin, may be the least toxic and the most nutrient dense. But I guess Dr. Nelson might comment about what Bart K would say. Where is the randomized study that we can truly say absolutely?
Yeah. I always go back to, I like to suggest to people to eat according to what they tolerate. If you're so metabolically sick that you can really tolerate many carbohydrates, then you need to learn to restrict those things that are making you even worse. If you are able to eat meat and have fruits and vegetables and you're healthy, then continue doing what you're doing. But studies show that 88 to 93% of people are metabolically sick. If you're one of the 7%, keep doing what you're doing.
Well, but if we simply eat less frequently and let our gut empty more fasting, you'll be healthier than you've ever known. And this might, again, it's back to the plants. And carbohydrates trigger an alcohol addiction. No thanks. Now again, Bobby, but again, this is all a mental manipulation, right? Again, animal products are the healthiest, the least toxic or non-toxic, and plants are the most inflammatory producing and potentially the most toxic, and they ferment. And so, but if you eat one meal a day, do fasting on a regular basis, cook and ferment your foods well, you might tolerate it well. I don't know that we've really seen the vegan side, because we could be polarizing, can't we?
Oh,
Doctor,
we are,
yeah.
Dr. Gills, we are. Just the same way that they can be,
That's so. Why do we want to take on an idea that we can be more open for everyone? Steve Marks says, "Suck it up, Buttercup is no longer applicable." Okay, Lisa Wiedemann, our carnivore doctor friend, who maybe is being trashed a little bit for going protein sparing, modified fasting, adding some plants in this, and in fact, we're always going to get a little pushback on all sides, because if we're just always nice to everyone, who wants to watch that?
Yeah, true. Dr. Kills, I've got to tell you a story which actually happened only last night, which I've already told to Dr. Nelson and Alia, because they witnessed it live. Because we were on the Zoom call last night, and I got a phone call which I had to take from an old friend who I haven't spoken to for a long time. A guy called Steve. He's Scottish, from Glasgow, so he speaks with a very strong accent. And he actually was reaching out to me because he'd seen a YouTube that I'd done about a friend of mine who died from cancer. And I said, if anybody has got the cancer out there, and anybody wants to talk to me about it, about the work of Professor Thomas Seyfried, please phone me. So he did. Haven't seen Steve for a long time. He is an army friend of mine. He was diagnosed with prostate stage 4 cancer and given 18 to 24 months to live, which was very sad. Only thing is, he was diagnosed in 2020, and we are now in 2025. And Steve is putting 30 kilograms, 60-pound backpacks on his back every day and running up and down mountains. So I asked him, "What do you?" He said, "Why?" I said, "What do you eat?" He said, "Well, I eat healthily." And eat healthily in normal people's terms means that he eats according to the guidelines. So I think with Steve, you got to remember he's an ex-soldier. He's a veteran of 2 wars, both Afghanistan and Iraq. And it is a mindset thing with him, I think. So basically, the health, I think a lot of the time it is about mindset, because as you all know, my wife Lainey is in remission from breast cancer herself, but she has a warrior spirit. So does Steve, and our great friend Stephanie as well. She's has the same story. So basically, these people are confounding the predictions of the doctors by saying, no, I will not give in to this horrible disease. Now, I did check with Steve. I said, do you eat meat? He said, oh, yeah, I eat meat all the time, George. I said, well, what's meat? He said, I like steak and I like lamb. I like fatty meat. I said, what vegetables do you eat? He said, I eat a lot of potato, French fries, potato chips, as we call them here in the UK. He said, I eat a lot of roast potatoes. He said, I eat all the healthy vegetables. So, but the key thing, which I think there are two points I picked up on with Steve. One is the mindset, the warrior mindset, the no surrender mindset. And the other thing is, remember he used the words steak and lamb. So basically, he is eating a lot of our saturated fat. Now, he's also eating carbohydrates in the form of starches and fiber. But the thing is the fat the key thing here? Is what is protecting his cells? Because obviously he's feeding his cancer with the carbohydrates, but on the other hand, he's also feeding his healthy autoimmune system with the saturated fat as well. Any thoughts on this, doctors?
Well, may I? So number one is all cells of all organisms contain carbohydrate, sugars, fatty acids, and amino acid proteins. So I when we use the term carbohydrate separate from a plant or an animal, we're not scientific here. And the one thing that's different in the animal versus the plant is saturated animal fat, because ultimately seed oils, plant oils, even avocado and olive oil are not natural. They are highly processed. You remember, it took thousands of pieces of little fruit to make a bottle of olive oil or avocado oil. And ultimately, no animal gets any significant plant oils except from a human bottle. And anyway, and so I think you're right. See, I always say faith is first. Faith is the belief in the thing you wish for as if it already is. That's the power of the mind, the mighty mindset. That's why carnivore lifestyle is really what this is about. It's about being like a lion, the most regal, strong, and I mean, every castle around, every mighty master has a lion at its side. And that's what this story is about. Kilt's Mighty Tribe is here to invite every single lioness and lion into this community. And truly, we can eat some plants, we can eat some animals, we can eat both, or we can eat neither one, but you must eat one or the other. You can't go without it. So, but as you said, I mean, interesting enough, I mean, on a Mediterranean diet, at one point I felt great. I looked great according to what you think it should be. But ultimately, I began to get sick despite the mindset. And so I think, although maybe I wasn't as powerful and true on that one. So I can't, I'm not saying, oh, it was the plants for sure. Maybe I was weakening on the mindset. And I needed a little bit more encouragement on this other side. And this is where I think the community has come in. I created a community called Mind, Body, Smile 20 plus years ago. And I had a website called Mind, Body, Smile. And then once I found keto and carnivore, I kind of switched to the mouth side, not the mind side. But I agree with you, George. This is a world where there's a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
And really what we want to do is open up and support everyone on all sides. Even if you're strictly a vegan, this community is to say, hey, there's a lifestyle in like a lion, a carnivore, but we're not trying to be dogmatic on one side or the other.
We have a question for you.
Oh, sorry.
Can you read that, Alia?
Yeah. Dr. Kilch, many people say that pastas and bread are better in Europe and not as harmful. What's your opinion since you were there?
Well, there's a pastry and a bread shop in Sarasota called Bread Bandits.
Mhm.
All their flours from Europe. Tia swears that it's better, and I have some from time to time with a lot of fat if I do. And here in Europe, I've had a bite of their bread, and their butter's amazing, and I would say that the the reason we took wheat and rice and corn in general and processed and pulverized and minimized and nixtamalization. I know what's where you soak the corn and you extract some of the toxins by soaking it. I think in 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 oh my God, what is it? Calcium. Oh my God, who's the author of the book about food? We met him in one of the meetings, but it's processed in a way that it's least toxic and probably better. I don't, I think I say yes, but I don't know that. Like I could tell you for sure. Um, I'm concerned in America that we're kind of it's for the biggest yield and most amount of money, not the biggest a way to make it more natural and back to our ancient organic ways.
Right.
Sense. So yeah, I think so. I think that comment is probably, I believe it, but I don't know it.
Christine Sarah Searle. I don't feel I or we can get sufficient nutrition in one meal.
That's not true. I mean, I would say the majority of humanity is getting overweight and we're eating too many meals. Imagine what you ate 50,000 years ago. I would say absolutely you can. I have. I even could do one meal every 2 days and I'm getting plenty of nutrients. Remember, we're not deficient in nutrients. We're overstuffed, and the toxins in the food are a problem, the anti-nutrients in the food. So like again, it might even be plants provide all the nutrients, but they provide a significant amount of poison and anti-nutrients. One of the things about fatty meat is that it provides all the nutrients, and I don't know of the anti-nutrients in a ribeye raw steak. Now, uh, uh, lean meat is protein poisoning, rabbit starvation. It's not good for us. And if you look at Pottinger's cats or look at Price Pottinger, I mean, basically everything we eat is processed. I mean, we're not going in the middle of Lisbon here and catching, cows and frogs and fish. Majority of us are waiting for someone that's made it for us, so or processed for us. But so, and yes, deep sea otter. They've genetically modified the wheat in America, used to be uh, armpit high in the fields. It is now much shorter, maybe knee high. I agree with that. Again, it is. I mean, the politicians around the world and the money around the world controls much. We must take it back. We must seek out our small producers, organically farmed, regeneratively farmed in both the plant and animal side, and the dairy and the poultry and egg side. I think there's a way because you want to have local regenerative ranching and farming provide for all of us. By the way,
Yeah.
Okay, this is next thing is funny. Papa Carnivore says, remember the textbook definition of hypercarnivore is any animal or human that consumes 70% animals, 30% or less plants. Bart K talks about this all the time. And then he
right?
says,
But But
Please tell the
go ahead.
carnivore police.
Right. But again, we're creating the labels.
Right.
Humanity is created a label. No other animal has a label like that. All right. And so I'm sure because of food availability, we figured in order to feed our brothers and sisters, in order to reduce the famines, we figured out that growing plants, processing the plants, along with eating the fatty meat. And Ansel Keys lived 100, I think. And we may blame him, but I don't think we can blame him solely, because at the end of the day, we eat a Mediterranean diet lifestyle, maybe something we're not even understanding what it was and what Mediterranean diet is. There's so many varieties of any of these things. And I would say that if you're a 70-30, you're an omnivore, right? If you're eating plants and animals on a regular basis, we are omnivores. And I would say our humanity has exploded in an omnivorous diet. If you went back a couple of 100 years ago, we didn't have the diseases and the suffering we're having today. And that's the beauty of this conversation. It ain't going away. We're going to continue arguing it until the day each of us is dead, and the next generation is going to have the same argument. Science, spirit, of politics and religion. We're always going to be debating this stuff, and that's the beauty of it. Have fun doing it, right? Have beautiful fun doing it, and then we invite our plant eater friends, our animal eater friends, and our both eater friends to a community gathering, and that we're not ranting and raving the suck it up buttercup like Lisa Wiedemann, carnivore doctor, who's being thrown under the bus here, by the way. And I support her immensely. That wow, oh my God, she's eating some plants and she hasn't died yet.
Exactly. Anyway, folks, the reason I came on originally was to answer your call, which was to say, has any of our recently graduated coaches actually thought about how they're going to set up a business? Now, I'm not the most dynamic person when it comes to setting up businesses, but I'm very proud to say that some of our graduates, one or two of our graduates out there are. And there is a move afoot. There is a new WhatsApp group with people who are interested in teaming up to become a sort of cooperative. In fact, an actual cooperative is one of the offers that's on the table. And basically, we are looking to, I think the name of the WhatsApp group is Global Carnivore Coaches. So we're looking to actually create an international community of coaches. A global community of coaches based on the Kilts Health coaching course. And basically, I don't know much about finance or accounting or business or anything. I've always been a wage slave all my life, up until now. However, this is another interesting crossover, because on Monday, I'm going to meet a very old friend of mine from the army who is a fellow Arabic linguist, young lady, my age, maybe 2 years younger than me, called Caroline. And she has actually retired from accounting and being a finance director of various different firms to go coaching. But she's going to be a specialist in menopause coaching for ladies who are having a difficult menopause. Because at the age of 58, she has just come through a nightmare menopause herself. And she feels that her spirituality, her newfound spirituality and her beliefs will be able to help others get through as well. She is going on a writer's retreat. She's writing books to the spiritual town of Glastonbury, which you've often heard me mention. It is the spiritual home of witches and wizards in the UK, and very near where we have the Great British Meetup. It's famous for its festival and Glastonbury tour. So I'm meeting her there. So basically what it is that I will be running the ideas that have been put out by our fellow coaches past her, because she is an expert in these things. And it's just a coincidence that she and I are following a kind of weirdly similar path. She is vegetarian. She's going down the menopause route. I'm going down the carnivore and the carnivore and ketogenic coaching route. But we both came from, we were both Arabic linguists in the army together. So we kind of diverged, but we're following a very similar pathway. And it's absolutely wonderful to be going. I haven't seen her for 32 years. So it's going to be wonderful to go and see her over in Glastonbury. Wow. And we intend to spend the whole day together along with Lainey. They're going to go and do a bit of girly retail therapy in Glastonbury because it's great for some very off-the-wall clothing, left-of-centre clothing, like hippie clothing and that sort of thing. In the meantime, I'm hoping to sort of we will sit down over lunch and we will talk business, and so I'll run the idea of the global carnivore coaching scheme past her, and hopefully she'll tell me what the best option is, and I will report back. But no, as this is just to answer your original call. I'm a graduate coach. Yes, there are moves afoot, and it looks like the Kilts Health Carnivore coaching message is going to go global. That is the plan, Dr. Kilts. So hopefully you're happy with that.
Well, and what we want to do is we want to set up a system that everyone could go through Kilts Health. But again, there's going to be many of these platforms building. I was on with Ben Bickman last night, and Ben has a website, Insulin IQ, which is really fantastic. And they too have created a coaching course and also a medical treatment coaching, and then the Western medical model throughout America, which I think is marvelous. Again, what we need to be doing is not running away from standard, but working on ways to work together in all of this. That's where I think my voice is beginning to change and see it differently. Carnivore only. Well, okay, maybe. And I think that's where we need to tame the beast for all of us. And we need to spread the idea around the globe. And whether you're, again, keto is a environmental scientific description of a ketogenic environment where you can be an herbivore, an omnivore, or a carnivore that could fit in the ketogenic scientific idea framework and lifestyle. So our intention is through Kilt's Mighty Tribe is create a platform that we can go online and coach people around the globe anytime you want. We're doing the same thing in CNY fertility, creating the coaching, because ultimately it's our children's children. That's it. There's a comment here. Steve Marks, let's see, just seems everyone went strict to let's go keto all at the same time. Then the Homestead put video out yelling at everyone for questioning the sudden change. 90% keto, and that's cool. Just wondering why it's all the strict carnivores are changing at the same time. Well, there's a nature of energy in the universe always moving, right? About the different movements of religion and politics, and it's just the nature of energy that I think is critically important for all of us. And I vow to keep Kilt's Mighty Tribe for free for everyone. And I'm working on actually taking my CNY fertility and making a non-for-profit organization that can keep on moving on and trucking on through the future. A little bit intentions of how Kilt's Health. Remember, you always have to be profitable to help the people. This isn't purely for donations. It really is. Each and every human being must take control and ownership for themselves. Mm-hmm. And once you take care of yourself in a better way, then you can care for your brothers, sisters, and your children's children.
Yeah, every organism has to, at birth, then has to grow, has to nourish itself in order to grow, and has to change the way it does things. Every species has to evolve, otherwise it will die out. What you've got to remember is that we, as the carnivore community, are very, very new compared to a lot of things. I didn't discover carnivore until 2022. I didn't become carnivore until 23. I didn't really have a community until last year. I get the impression that, you know, for me, 23 was a year of discovery, 24 was a year of healing using carnivore. But I had to go strict whilst I was healing. But I, you know, I've achieved what I wanted to do, and I do get the impression now that carnivore is kind of growing up a little bit, and the conversation, everybody's saying, "Oh, everybody's leaving carnivore." No, we're just having a conversation about being sensible, because I would totally agree that basically the best way to heal is the lion diet, is beef, salt, and water. But do you really need to do that for the rest of your life? Or can, once you've healed, can you think, oh, well, perhaps if, you know, I can add the mushrooms back in like I'm doing. And I've noticed that people are saying that mushrooms can be poisoning. Yeah, I've had 45 more years experience of actually gathering mushrooms. So I know what I'm doing. But that's what I'm saying. Do we have to be quite so dogmatic as we were when we first got together? It was great to have this flag that said lion diet, Dante Ferrigno, meat only. But now maybe we can have a more nuanced conversation that will open up the people who really fancy eating a lot of fatty meat, who've seen the results that we've had, but they also fancy their asparagus in the spring. They also fancy their blackberries in the autumn, their blueberries in the autumn. They also fancy their mushrooms in fall, as autumn fall as well. That's paleo, ancestral. Remember, we haven't really got a full name for it, haven't we? We can knock around paleo diet, ancestral, hypercarnivore, therapeutic carbohydrate restriction, ketogenic diet, low carb, high fat, carnivore. But would you agree with me, Dr. Kills? All of those I've just listed, anybody who is following any of those things I've just mentioned, are more than welcome to be within our space, because it is all about
everyone is welcome. And I think that's the whole point of the process. Carnivore lifestyle, lion lifestyle, that's ownership, that's strength, that's community, that's caring for your family, you're young, you're old, and everyone. And I think I think my life is about peacemaking, bringing people together. And in some way, I think my dogmatic nature, you know, I was in a gang once. I always say I can fight the fight. Yeah. But really, I got out of the gang because I realized that we want to bring people together. I think Steve Marks said, I'm not slamming Lisa. I just joined her new group, and her change in her diet is her decision. I just wonder why most of the carnivore community is making the change at the same time. Well,
I don't know if it's most.
I don't think it's most. I think it's.
I don't know.
It's just some big names.
Yeah. Well, again, I think I heard that Ken Berry was saying it's click. We're just looking for more clicks. Now, I love Ken Berry because he's a master of this. I think he talked about eating some plants and keto. You know, if that's where you want to go, or here you want to go, you know, that's okay. I mean, is technically coffee carnivore?
No.
I mean, it is a plant extract essentially, so it means you're eating some plant products, and it's all good.
We're coming to the end of the hour. Can I just one final point I'd like to make and that is about mindset, the importance of mindset, of faith in what we are doing. And the two mindsets we can talk about is the warrior mindset and the lion mindset, which I know you are very fond of. I told you this story. When Ali had told me that I won the trip to Wyoming, my first reaction was fear. I was a sheep. I was a scared sheep. On July the 11th, I went to bed scared, and I told Ali I wasn't going. Woke up July the 12th, I was a lion. I said, I'm going to Wyoming. And that was, and I immediately emailed Ali and said, you know, I've woken up as a lion. Those are the words I used. And I said, I'm going to Wyoming. Had the best 5 days of my life. Made some great new friends. We'll be back there next year. We'll see you next year, Dr. Kilks, all being well, God willing. So yeah, I changed my life. That sleep, that going to bed as a sheep and waking up as a lion has changed my entire life. I have now lost my fear of doing things like this, for example. I've lost my fear of the world, really. And so here I am. So yeah, folks, mindset. Look, have the faith. Keep the faith. Have the warrior mindset. Look what happened to my friend Steve, who's running up mountains now, having been given 18 months to live. Look at Lainey, look at Stephanie. We'll have the lion mindset, the mindset, basically the mindset which allows you to do things which would otherwise have scared you, as I did when I went to Wyoming. Okay, I think we've hit the top of the hour. I better. Oh, well done, Aaron.
Yeah, but my
Yeah.
new book, Christ Carnivore, we're working on it. We got some other books about. I mean, ultimately, I follow Jesus Christ as a symbol of the Lion King. But whether it's Moses, Muhammad, Abraham, Buddha, Lao Tse, or whatever you feel, but it's still the power of love and kindness and be the peacemaker around the globe and bring people together and support them. Be the shining light, not the polarizer. So Bobby Goats got it today.
Booby.
What's the
Booby Goats?
Booby.
It's
Booby, yeah,
Booby
but
Goats.
It's Aaron. It's Aaron, Dr. Kills. It's Aaron.
Aaron?
Aaron.
Booby
She wants
Goats.
a
What's
shirt.
the
I
winner?
was giving away a hat, but she asked for a shirt, so I can send her a t-shirt. She just
Whatever
needs to
she
email me
wants.
her address.
We love
Yeah.
you guys. I might be here tomorrow. I don't know. What's tonight?
Yeah, just a quick shout out to Erin. She's doing a live herself at in a couple of hours' time. Or
Nice.
no, an hour and a half, I think. So there we go.
Awesome.
Oh, Booby Goats. Yeah.
Booby Goats.
have
Thank you.
Caroline, I can't say her last name easily. She was a patient of yours at CNY, but she also follows carnivore, and she had a baby from doing keto and getting help from CNY fertility. So she's tomorrow, Caroline. There you go. All right.
And God bless everyone. Hopefully we'll see you later tomorrow. Isn't old guy carnivore coming on next?
Yeah,
Yes,
he's
and
next. Go see him.
at 3 p.m. Same
stream.
bat channel.
With Michelle Hearn. All right,
Yes.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good day.